A little bit about me. My name is Michelle Keith. I'll be your host tonight. I was born in Daytona Beach, Florida. Do we have any other Halifax hospital babies in the house? One. That's nice. I just turned 51 in August. Yes. I got my hip replaced a few months ago. I'm having a hip girl summer. That's for sure. I'm bionic. It's been life-changing, you know. And do we have any other people in here that have a part replaced? Are you bionic? Anybody here? Knee? You have a knee? No, it's a big deal. It interrupts your life when you have a surgery like this. You know, it's like, how long until I can drive? How long until I can go back to work? What's the PT like? For me, I just wanted to know how long until I could have sex again. Like, did I plan this right? Oh my gosh. And then I joined these hip groups on Facebook, and I learned it was cool to name your hip, which was a no-brainer for me. I named my hip Lucille Ball, because I'm obsessed, and I was born on the same day. So we have so much in common besides being redheaded and being a Leo. You know that famous episode where she was stomping on the grapes, and that is like really in real life, the Italian lady tried to beat her ass and almost drowned her. I, too, have almost drowned myself several times in a box of red wine. So we have that in common, for sure. She married a Cuban. I have eaten so many Cuban sandwiches in my lifetime. No, actually, my first husband was Cuban. Right, but Lucy had a son, she had a little Ricky. The difference is, I had a little Dickie. That's where that ends. And yeah, the Lucille Ball thing, like, I'm ready, by the way. I am way past the time length to have sex again. I'm just saying, Daytona, I'm ready. But I thought it would be cool to say that sex sent me to the ER. Lucille Ball and I ended up on an episode of Sex Sent Me to the ER. Gotta get that one out, y'all. That's a new one. Oh, where do we go from there? I'm just trying to get you guys warmed up, and I'm like nervous. We're having fun, right? We're all out on a Saturday night. Yeah, I have a weird job. I know I look like a hair salon receptionist, but I am a national dog show superintendent. That is actually what I do for a living. So I do know a lot about dogs, and people ask me, do you judge dogs? I'm like, no, I don't, but believe me, I judge all of the people, for sure. And I'm a single girl. I don't know if anybody else is single, and you know, when you work all the time, you don't meet single men. Like, all the men at dog shows are married or gay. So I have no eye candy, really. I just end up looking at a lot of dog balls, because they're way cuter than men. But they remind me of all the men I've dated in my life. It's true. Like, I'll see a Dalmatian walk by, and I'll just think about that ginger boy I met on St. Patrick's Day. And all the Weimaraners remind me of any silver fox I ever dated, because they have those gray velvety balls, you know. Still on the search for the dog with the smallest balls, because that reminds me of that Italian guy I dated last summer. It's weird. So yeah, people are always asking me dog advice. And I'm a comedian, so I'm not necessarily going to give you the correct dog advice, even though I've been at dog shows for 25 years. I'm gonna give you like what I think are my 5 top hottest dogs, like dogs that are popular, dogs that give up that sexual vibe, you know, like, I'm gonna give you 5. So starting at 5 is the Great Dane. The Great Dane is an elegant beast with long, sexy legs. And if you're walking through a crowd with these on each side, like, try me, bitch. Nobody will. That intimidation is sexy. But they're only at 5 because if you own one of these dogs, you're picking up enormous piles of shit. So, number 4 is the Doberman. The Doberman is that punk rock S&M kind of vibe, you know, like they're born with chains around their necks, I'm convinced. They play every villain in every movie. That kind of intimidation is hot, so. Coming in at number 3 is the hot dog. This dog is popular in American and German culture, AKA wiener, AKA schlong. Hot dogs are hot because they taste good. And people look really sexy at the 4th of July picnic when they're eating them, so. Coming in at number 2 is the Afghan hound. All you need to do is Google the dog with the best hair, okay? This dog has hair, long flowing hair, beach waves, natural beach waves that women pay for. It's like a combination of Cher and Sheryl Crow and Barbie. And those are all hot women, right? Coming in at number 1 is my dog Cash. I got a big, beautiful black male at home. He is a Mexican cholo. It's a hairless dog with hair. He's quite a stud. But I had to send him to sex boot camp for dogs. Part of his training required collection, which is a fancy way to say he got a puppy happy ending. And it happened, and I didn't realize it. My girlfriend was the one responsible, and I was in the room at the time, and she was all like, come, come, come. I had a threesome. I had no idea. It was crazy. His training's going well. He's way mature now. Like, I went to throw a ball for him the other day, and he didn't even react. And then I caught him in the bedroom with my ball gag. So he's so advanced. But he has a new bitch now with new puppies, so I think they need to move out. Dating, trying to date, especially in a pandemic. I know that it would be a lot easier to date if the opposite sex had a tail, like my dog, so I could just see it wag whenever I did something that was correct. And you never know who you're gonna meet. These men, they're either, you know, really smart, you don't know if they have a sense of humor, you don't know if they're dumb. I had this one date, it was like the second date, right? 2 weeks later, and all of a sudden we're having a birth control conversation, and I immediately knew he wasn't that bright because he asked me if I had an IED. I'm like, you mean an IUD? An intrauterine device implanted in the cervix. I don't know, I'm like, because an IED is an improvised explosive device used in roadside bombs. And he's still looking at me like, one of the two of them will blow up my vagina. But his reasoning was, it's cool, because either way, you're not gonna get pregnant. I found a guy, dated him for 3 or 4 months, right? Great guy, great job, dog. He just happened to be in a wheelchair, okay? I'm an equal opportunity kind of girl. So I put so much effort into trying to get laid by this man. When you date somebody in a wheelchair, you have to put in way more effort, right? So, like, you know those blue lines? I painted them like right here so he would know where to park. You know, I measured my front door so I knew it was big enough for him to get in. I learned how to make out in a wheelchair, which was really cool. But it was like on that 3rd time, we got really hot and heavy, and I almost fell out of the wheelchair, and I went to reach behind, and it was like, oh my God, there's a break. Yeah, it encouraged me. It really encouraged me. I'm like, I don't know, how do you just progress from making out? What positions are adaptable in a wheelchair? Like, I mean, 69 is totally adaptable in a wheelchair, right? There's nothing wrong with a little Meals on Wheels every now and then. It's crazy though, I'm like Googling it. How do you have sex in a wheelchair? Like, I knew I was gonna have to ramp it up in the bedroom. But like 18 positions come up. There's so many positions that come up. I was like, are you kidding me? I was married for 20 years. There was only 2 positions. One of them didn't even require me, like at all. But in the end, I did not get laid by the guy in the wheelchair. I have the tire marks to prove that I tried. But yeah, the relationship had no legs. It just didn't have any legs. There's so much more to that story, I'm sure you can tell. So it's like back to the drawing board, right? Like I said, I'm 51. I found myself at the plastic surgeon's office recently. I'm like, you know what? I'll look into getting a breast augmentation. You know, the puppies need to play again, have a little fun. Maybe I have to stay in the present, but my titties can go back to high school. So, but when you're there and they're like, what size, what kind, it's really overwhelming, you know, and I'm just like, I don't know. So in the end, I just got squeaky toys implanted instead. Like, it's really hard to compete for attention at a bar, you know? I just go to a bar like this and just give it a little squeak. Their ears perk up and they look around. Craft beer places are the best. You can be like, oh, that number 6 is a peanut butter stout on draft. Does anybody like peanut butter? It's been working out, because I'm telling you, they're so easy to get home. You know, you can be like, oh, let's go in the car. You want to go for a ride in the car? Let's go home. It's been fun. My dating life is crazy. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Coming to the stage, please give a warm welcome to Daytona's favorite and very own Zach Bennett.